Hello!
Oh no, I can't see if it's online or not.
We are live!
Yay!
In the top left on Megan's picture that says live.
Oh, mine says scheduled.
Oh, weird.
Still, that's bizarre.
Or something.
Well, hello everybody. We are in fact live. Hello, if you've never seen us before, we are the WordNerds, and we are going to be doing a live write-in today. So we're going to do some word sprints this evening to kind of bump up that nano project. I think everybody has some kind of tea or a hot beverage, so everybody make sure to grab yours today. A variety of delightful mugs.
Yes.
So why don't we go around and kind of say what we're working on today. It could just be like, I'm working on a novel in general, or like, this particular scene has gotten away from me and I want to focus on that. So we shall start with Megan in the top left.
Yeah, I am doing NaNoWriMo. I am at 14,001 words, so I'm like a teensy bit behind. But I kind of let myself because I was tired, and I know I can make that up with all of the write-ins that we've got going on in the next week. And I'm working on a spooky horror ghost book that is very fun.
Nice.
Awesome. Erin, you are next.
I'm still doing my gay plant druid book, which is very exciting. And there's a lot of animosity between characters right now, so I'm very much enjoying writing all of the drama. So, and I'm also behind, but I figure I'll make it up during our chats. So,
yeah.
And how about you, Kelly?
I'm also doing Nano. I am at about 16,000, which has been pretty good because it's been such a busy week, but I've done that across a couple different projects. But tonight I am working on a scene for my Anastasia Dragons book.
Ooh. And how about you, Helen?
Theoretically, I'm doing Nano. My word count has not gone up since last week, which is fine. But tonight I'm working on an essay about Frankenstein for school. So
me too. That's so
good. Also Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Jeez.
What class are you working on yours for?
English 250, which is literary critical theory.
Oh, that's so interesting. What a coincidence. All right, how about you, Emma?
I'm not even doing Nano theoretically. I've written like 500 words this month, so but I'm like nearing the climax of this book, which is always the part that like I go the slowest on and it takes me forever. So trying to like set up everything and get things in place is always difficult.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Well, like I said earlier, I'm also working on a Frankenstein essay, but I've decided to do a critical analysis of medical ethics at the time where science and religion were being newly taught, as seen through Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm trying so hard to find a new lens to look at this through. So I'm gonna try that out today. Make sure to leave in the comments or wherever this way. There we go. Everything's in backwards world on this camera. Make sure to leave your own comments of what you're working on. In between our sprints, we'll usually answer a couple questions. So if you have any reading or writing related things, please leave those there. And it is, it's 4:35. Do you want to 4:35 on my side. It's the 35. Do you want to jump into something right now or take another couple minutes?
Let's take another couple minutes.
Yeah, it looks like there are a lot of comments, but I'm not seeing them.
My comments are not refreshing.
No, mine are.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a couple in there.
Skip over
technical difficulties. Apologies, everyone.
We are so happy you're all here.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to go grab a pillow to try and muffle the fan of my computer. I'll be right back.
Oh, yes.
So we have lots of people saying hello. Hi, guys. We're so happy you're all here. I just pulled up the normal thing because my comments weren't refreshing either. So I'll just sort of read out a couple of people what they're working on. Isabella is working on a dark YA fantasy, which, we like that over here. Valerie Jackson is working on a high fantasy romance to publishing on Wattpad. Yay, Wattpad represent. Let's see. Got lots of comments. Valerie Jackson, we already read out hers. Caitlin is working on a thriller this month. That's awesome. Lots of different things. Margaret Luke is working on a YA medieval fantasy, but it's taking a weird turn. Those are the only kind of good turns, okay? So
I know, sometimes those characters get away from you.
yeah, exactly. That's my favorite, honestly. When that happens. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. We do answer in the in-between.
I think we'll do our first sprint, which will be for 20 minutes. We'll do that at the 40.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We got Destiny Bridwell, sorry if I mispronounced your name, writing a paranormal romance with a rock star with a dark twist.
Ooh.
YA fantasy about what? Oh, sorry. Lucy Engels is writing a YA fantasy about what happens when the border between life and death starts to break.
Ooh, yes, I'm here for it.
Very creepy sounding.
Francesca's asking for advice on catching up.
Yes.
Okay.
Megan has a really good video that she just published about this precise thing on this channel. So
Yeah.
we're all catching up. I think quite a few of us. So
I know it feels weird. I've always wanted to do Nano, and it always falls right when midterms are. So I'm always like, I'll do it next year. And then I'm like, oh, God.
Or when you have to write like 3 essays and all of them are like stupidly long.
Yeah.
It always ends up being the month that like we have a bunch of like friends and family visiting. Like they always end up coming in November.
Yeah. I would say definitely don't worry about having to get caught up all at once. There's still many weeks left in NaNoWriMo, and doing a little bit extra every day in addition to just trying not to miss any more days can make a really, really big difference. Yeah, that's my best advice is just figure out the minimum of what you need to do and just try to do that, because you don't have to, if you're behind 7,000 words, you don't have to do 7,000 words tonight.
Yeah. Skipping ahead to scenes you're most excited to write, where you know you'll be able to have a little more juice, can help as well, but it may throw you off for the rest of the month. But it's fine. Yeah. Question for you, all of you, and anyone in the comments: if you could put Nano in any month of the year, what would be your best epic writing month?
Like January, when I'm all pumped up on New Year's
Yeah, I was
resolution.
gonna say January.
I would say like Camp Nano is in July, and I feel like that's a good time. It's just I am always in school, so I never take a semester off. So I was like, oh, the middle of summer would be great. Like you got nothing to do, you know. You still have the month left afterward, and
it's like as a student, the first month of the semester is always like the slowest time, and it's always it would always be the best time. So like January would be nice.
See, I'm not a student, so I like it in November because I like getting a burst of productivity to finish the year.
As a non-American, November works really well for me, but we do have this up as a poll on For the Words right now, in January is winning by a little bit, I think. Nothing after like September is doing that well. No one wants that except for people saying they wouldn't move Nano, but like September, October, December.
Okay, we have 1 minute left before we start our sprint, so I'm going to read a writing prompt. You don't have to use this, but you definitely can if you want to. And if all my writing prompts today are surrounding my math midterm that happened the other day, that I did not fail, so that's great. Yay! The first prompt for you today is study. Have one of your characters need to memorize something.
Ooh.
And we will see you back in 20 minutes on the hour.
And I've put that prompt in the discussion section. Hopefully it's showing up.
All right, away we go. time for everyone. All right, our first 20-minute sprint. How'd it go?
526.
687.
Ooh.
273. Not bad for me.
I wrote like 123 and figured out my next video where I'm gonna do it on. So
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
Sitting at 148, I think.
Mhm.
Ish.
Now I got some solid quotes down and did a little bit of medical ethics research.
Nice.
Exciting.
I also learned during the sprint, because I had to look it up, that the woman yelling at the cat in that meme is not Cameron Diaz. I thought it was Cameron Diaz. It's the one from like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, apparently. I was like, oh, I thought it was Cameron Diaz.
Productive sprint.
It was. Learned important information.
We had a question from Valerie. How long is the writing gonna last? Sometime after 9 Eastern. Or no, sometime before 9 Eastern. I mean, not after.
Yeah. I think we'll probably do like 2 20-minute sprints and then maybe like 1 15 or 1 10-minute sprint.
10 to 15
Kind of.
cool down.
Usually what we
Yeah,
do.
close it out. Yeah, so probably answer some more questions or chat a little bit more for the next 5-10 minutes and then hop into another one.
Yeah.
I knew we had some questions.
Yeah, we've got so many people sharing their word counts. Shannon got 357, Destiny 623. Yo, I'm Soup is back, got 936.
Yeah, super.
Thanks for coming back.
Away from Harbor 406, Cecily Willow 513, Lucy Angles 657, Kelly Jean Taylor 611, Starlight Sapphire 466.
Wow, you guys are
Meg
rocking it.
586. Yeah, there's so many of you here too. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh my. I just looked at the huge list of.
I was gonna keep going, but there's a lot, and I will take up the whole 5 minutes if I go through them all. But you guys are doing so well. Yeah, did we have any questions anyone found? If we missed your question too, and it seems like we're like scrambling to find one, we probably missed yours. So please feel free to re-ask it. We are not ignoring it as long as it is nano or bookish related.
Mhm.
Well, you'll have to check that. For some reason, mine aren't refreshing. Mine refreshes and like fits and starts. That's very weird.
Mhm.
I've got it up on my phone because it's not refreshing on the computer.
Oh, weird.
Margaret
Yeah.
asked, third person is so hard to write in for me. I was thinking of just switching to first person out of the blue. Would that be okay this far in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I think you can if you're more comfortable in that, but you just have to edit it later. But
Yeah.
that's what December's for.
And as far in the game as it feels, if you have to make the switch after you've written the whole book, it'll be so much worse. So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did 2 nanos ago. I wrote a book that was in first person, and I started to think halfway through that, oh, maybe this should be in third person and have extra points of view. And I didn't switch. I decided to push through and finish it. And it has been the longest series of revisions I've ever had to do. It has taken forever to get it, not just switched, but like organized after the switch, because so much changes when you tell a story in a different
Yeah,
narrative.
switch it now while you can.
We had another question. Super Bly Situated asked, advice for not having a sagging / murky middle in your novel. I'm finding the middle part difficult.
Oh God.
I have a video on this too called Tips for the Middle. That's more extended than what we'll give you here, I'm sure, but we'll still answer it here too. If it's a fantasy, killing someone is always an option.
No, Megan.
I mean,
That's
in
Megan's
general, that's
always
an option.
advice.
Yeah.
Want to
He's
switch
in the
things up?
story,
Casual
by the way.
murder. No, the WordNerds do not
Do
You
not
definitely-
advocate for murder.
You definitely do need to do something like right in the middle of the book that really amps up the stakes. So like could be killing someone or it could be something else, but you do need to have like something like big happen in the middle to kind of like push your character to keep working towards
Yeah,
whatever they're doing.
in
Conveniently,
my
my next writing prompt may have something to do with that.
Nice.
in my plotting video that I did most recently, where I plotted my nano novel on camera, I talked about, I believe it's James Scott Bell's mirror moment idea, which is that in all of his favorite stories, the exact middle, whether it was movie or book, was what he calls this mirror moment, where your character has this reckoning as if looking in a mirror, where they have to say like, this is what has happened to me. This is, if I keep doing what I'm doing, this is where I'm going to end up. And maybe that's not where I want to end up. So what do I need to do to adjust so that I can get to what my goal is, so that your story can get to what the climax is going to be. So if you're feeling a little aimless, I would recommend trying to figure out what that moment is, because that helped me a lot in plotting.
Which is very good advice.
I am somebody who definitely uses plotting to get around that sagging middle point, because I have everything plotted out all the way from chapter 1 to the end, and then I know exactly what's happening in the middle. So if you are able to plot, I recommend that.
Even just headlights plotting, like a few chapters ahead.
Yeah. And I
Well,
really
also,
like
a lot of people,
I typically use like a 4-part story structure, and one of the things I like about it is that it's really good for middles, because there's like the midpoint right in the middle where like something big happens to like change things and change kind of like the character's goals or like how they're approaching something, but also it has like 2 pinch points that are on like either side of the midpoint. And like that's like a point where you like kind of like reveal the heightened stakes in some way. And reveal like how bad things could get. So it's really nice because there's like 3 major plot points to hit throughout like the middle of the book when you're using that method. And it's really helpful to like make it feel like you're not just kind of like aimlessly having your characters wander around.
For sure. Let's see. Should we go for the next one at the 10, maybe 2 minutes?
yeah, let's do that.
And we will do more questions again after. We can do one more, I guess. We had a question that someone asked, how many of you have published a book? And half of us on camera right now have books published. Helen has Scarlet by Helen Powers. Kelly has like 50 gajillion books out.
That's exactly how many.
Yeah, she has
That's
books
accurate
published under Kelly Sheridan and Kelly Bean. Kelly spelled with the IE, as you can see on your screen. And Aaron E. Latimer has The Strange and Deadly Portraits of Bryony Gray and Witches of Ash and Ruin, which is coming out
I'm like,
in a few months.
there we go.
January.
Yeah.
Somewhere here to my left, I guess.
Yes, we've got people all across the spectrum on the WordNerds on their publishing journeys. So definitely check out our backlog of videos if you want to learn more about that.
There are many freak out videos of,
So many.
of a bunch of people.
So many existential crisis videos.
Okay, we have 1 minute left, so I will give you a prompt now. So your new math midterm related prompt is midterm. Move one of your plot points drastically forward to surprise your main character.
Ooh, I love this.
So you don't know what to do in the middle of your story. Something you thought was going to happen at the end is now happening now. Make it work.
This is very, very The Good Place. They always
Yes,
do
they do this
this.
so much. And it's going to be a 20-minute sprint again.
Yes. So
Over here,
that
we
will...
typically do 20-minute sprints. If you found us from Nano and are like, what?
So that will end at the 30. And go. and time for everybody. You want to roll, Megan? Oh no.
Do some math.
Yeah, I'm not sure on my total, but I'm just over 1,100 for the evening.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
So
Nice.
subtract whatever I said last time.
I got 239 this time. I was feeling very distracted.
I think
Well,
I got about 350.
Nice.
Oh my, I got almost 1,000 words of quotes, so that's good.
Nice.
Yes.
Gone to a deep dive at all the medical ethics blogs. It's very interesting, but I find myself like reading them and I'm like, no, wait, I have to like look for certain things. So it's like taking twice as long.
I always forgot where I left off. $400 this time.
Needed to finish my sentence, or I was gonna forget it for sure.
Good, yes, finish the sentence.
Oh, look, a typo where I forgot a space. So I got one more word that I thought I typoed. Let us know how you did in the discussion section. I wrote down a couple of the questions that we missed before we went into the sprint so that I wouldn't lose them once the comments started coming in. Headphone Books said that they are writing a sequel for NaNoWriMo to a book that they wrote a few years ago, and we're wondering if we had any tips for writing sequels. No.
Sequels are hard.
Kelly's very good at sequels. She has lots of
Yeah, Kelly.
I tend to have some idea of what's happening with the sequels. Like I don't know. It's definitely a struggle. Depending how much of a struggle depends on how many sequels you want to do. That it's kind of like what Rachel did with the midterms of like anything bad that happens can happen right now. Just like trying to structure sequels is hard. But have we done videos on this? I feel like this is something I want to give more thought to and like try to weigh out a little better.
Has any of us ever actually written one aside from Kelly?
Kelly has like a bajillion.
Kelly.
I've drafted sequels. I don't have any published.
So yeah, you and Kyra have two.
Yeah, Kyra and I have written the two sequels to the first book because that was kind of we pantsed the first book, and so we wanted to pants the other two so we could get a feel for where we actually wanted the series to end, so we could keep that in mind when we were going back to revise the first one. So that's a little bit different. I think from that experience, you can really just have fun with it. I really enjoy finding the weirdest obstacles to throw in front of your character and then just being like, I don't even know how to get them out of this. Let me take some time to think about it.
I still remember that one day where you're like, yeah, I just dropped my character in a well and just like, I will deal with it.
And I think it was on fire. So.
Yeah, that is the plus side to writing with a co-author is that you can create a problem and don't necessarily have to be the one to fix it.
Love it. Do you guys want to go like right away, or we can do another couple questions and close it off with like a 10-minute sprint?
How many questions do you have saved there, Megan?
I have two, or one after this one. I don't see any more right now. I'm sure I can find more. But yeah, we have a couple comments on sequels, mostly agreeing that sequels are hard and sequels are weird. A joy to read, but such a pain to write.
So I might as well just go at the 35, and then if there's, we can talk for as long as we want to at the end.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, so in 1 minute, we will do another 10-minute sprint, just to kind of last one, closed, cool down, close the night. Your prompt, which again you don't have to use, but you can if you want to, is passing, because I passed my math midterm, and that is your character passes a test of their own. So it could be as big or small as you want it to be. And so we will see you back in
Oh,
10
I never
minutes.
took off the last one. Sorry. I'll adjust that though.
All right, that is our 10 minutes up. That means you have to stop writing. I like how immediately all of you were just like, no, screw you.
Frantic typing.
Yeah.
I had like 2 words left in my chapter, and I was like, I'm not stopping before.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming today. Please leave your word counts in the chat because it looks like everybody had a very productive day today.
Yeah, I think I got like 300 on that last one. So I got like
Oh, wow.
1244 for the day. So
Nice.
Very
Nice.
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 Anyone else want to share their word counts?
No.
Okay, well, okay.
that well, huh?
I love that.
1,400 total. So.
Nice.
I
got,
just
like,
love that they were
300.
people are like, oh, could you just like wait a minute? You're like, no. And they're like, oh, what? It's like, so
Fine.
shocking. Can I put you on hold? No, I need it right now. And they're like, what? Oh,
I'm
sorry.
not sure what the protocol is now.
Exactly.
I had a few questions.
Yeah, let's answer
Yes.
some questions before we end the night.
Margaret, I believe Margaret was the person who asked the first question about third person, but had a follow-up question about struggling to write in the third person in general. Everything the writing sounds a bit repetitive. Any tips for sprucing up your third person writing if it doesn't come naturally to you?
I do think it's because I love third person. I do think it was a harder genre. God, it's been a long day. It was a hard tense for me to like learn to do well. And I actually had to go and look at some of my favorite books and see how they alternated their pattern of narration in order for it not to be repetitive, because I had that same problem too. So I look at people like Frances Hardinger. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she does like the Fly By Night series and stuff, and she does third person so well. So she's one of my biggest inspirations. So I would just go through and be like, how does she do her sentence structure? How does she alternate? So it's not starting with the same thing every time.
Yeah,
like
the hardest thing in third person. The hardest thing in third person is not having every sentence start with like he or she.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know, but definitely, yeah, like reading other things helps a lot.
And
And it's something you can fix later too. Like
It's
in
definitely
revisions if
easier
you
to
need
catch in
to.
revision. Like he or she or character name, you'll see which ones you're using a bunch in that section, and it's easier to deliberately mix it up once it's done.
One of the things I found that helped the most with that was finding my filter words. Because it's really easy to be like, she looked and saw this, or she smelled fresh baking cookies. Like, and so those are all filter words. And the moment you eliminate that, you've just got, you know, the description of the site instead of her seeing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so instead, like, don't use words that distance the reader more than you have to. Instead of saying she smelled fresh baked cookies, say fresh baked cookies.
The scent of fresh baked cookies filled the room, you know, like that eliminates the she. Yeah.
Good advice for first person as well. And definitely practice. I know a lot of us, like when we started writing, it was in the first person. I know I got back into seriously writing back in like 2012, which was like Hunger Games, all that stuff, and everything was in first person. And so that was what I started writing in. And when I decided that I wanted to switch and start trying my hand at third person, because I thought that would fit some of my stories better, it came super unnaturally. And it was frustrating because first person came so easily. But it isn't that I'm better at writing first person than third. It was just that I had practiced that a lot more and that I needed to get those hours in also practicing the third person. And now it doesn't feel as stilted. It is easier to come up with things, and it's just the practice. We had another question from Superbly Situated. I didn't write down the full question, just the important notes, so I'm going to paraphrase it. But they said, asked for tips about dealing with physical pain while writing. Ask if any of us are dealing with that. They specifically mentioned they're dealing with neck and wrist stiffness. So any tips for kind of mitigating actual physical pain during the process?
I do have carpal tunnel. And so figuring out what works ergonomically for you is really important if you have wrist issues. I had one of those for a while when it was really bad. I had one of those pads that go in front of the keyboard that you rest your wrists on, essentially. I had wrist, oh boy, my brain is blanked.
Braces?
Braces, thank you. Yeah, I had wrist braces on both wrists for a while. And I did that for a while when I was typing, and then especially when I was sleeping too.
Yeah, sleeping in them makes a big difference because I've always had like arthritis, achy wrists, and just like I can't live in them because I have bulkier ones of like, no, we're not moving at all. But then I just like sleep in them and keep my arms really straight.
Yeah, I did the same thing. And then you can get exercises that help with pain as well, like some of these one type of
And
things.
also listening to your body and know when not to mitigate it and when to take a break.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly, didn't you have a like voice to text thing? As well?
That's super helpful as well. That's actually great advice. There's lots of programs out there now to just dictate your novel so that you could just sit there and put your body in whatever position it needs to be in, but you can also continue to write and dictate. It can be a little awkward, but if it's carpal tunnel or any sort of body pain is something you know you're going to deal with for all of your writing career, it's a skill worth learning. Because not only does it take less of a toll, but you can also write faster if it's a skill that ends up working for you. So
and please, even if it's nano and you want to win, do not wreck yourself for this. It's so not worth the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
I would also recommend as someone who deals with chronic pain, some like taking Tylenol all the time is not a good idea because you're going to wreck your liver. But something that helps is magnesium, because that's it's something that helps relax your muscles. So if it's just like in one of the bottles you get at the grocery store or something, I find that helps, especially if I have like a sore back or I have a lot of issues with like my abdomen and pelvis. So like I'll take one of those, and it's like not quite as good as like Tylenol, but it still like helps take a lot of the stuff off, and it's a lot better for your body.
it can also help you sleep well, which I'm a fan
Yeah,
of.
it does, because like relaxes everything. So yeah.
And if you're not good at taking pills, you can actually get ion magnesium, which is in like a dropper, and you can like put it in your tea before bed and stuff, and then just like you can drink it, which can be a lot easier than like
Those
pill from your
dry
hate those
pills. Chalky, white, dry pills. Yep.
Not small there.
And even if like chronic pain isn't something that you are having to live with, you should definitely still be taking care of yourself. Make sure you're drinking water. I've noticed for me when I'm writing a lot of times I'll do it on my Chromebook, and I'll set it at my like kitchen table, which kind of inherently has me looking down a little bit. And even though it's not something I do all the time, when I'm in that position, I'll clench my jaw, and then I end up with like a really sore jaw. So like be mindful of what position your body is in while you are writing.
Do we have any other questions?
No, we have some new ones, but Megan looks like she might have some.
If you have it, go for it.
Let me see. So there's been a lot of chatting on top of the questions.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe to us. We are doing lots of write-ins in the month of November. And also, we sent out like really desperate tweets last week, and you guys helped us get over 10K. Thank you. We're so excited.
We were pumped.
Yeah. It happened while we were in the post chat, and so we were all just like freaking out together.
Here's a question I had in mind. Penumbra Mine, sorry, I might have butchered your name, asked how many first-person POVs is too many?
20.
25, actually, Megan.
No.
What are you, George or Martin? Like,
No kidding, eh?
I don't even think he does this in first person. No.
I've read books that do it well with 2 first-person POVs, but I do think it's particular because I had this with my agent where I tried to do a project with 2 first-person POVs, and like I sent it in, and she was like, "Yeah, I cannot tell one from the other." So it's really easy to accidentally make them sound exactly the same.
Character voice needs to be one of your strengths if you're gonna try to push into.
Yes. Yeah. I have like 4, 5 maybe POVs in this book, in Witches, Vash, and Ruin, but they're third person. So I would never, ever, ever try that personally. If it was first person, that would just be.
You can like if the story needs it. I
Sure.
imagine it's going to be a lot of work and revision, but I rarely see it done well beyond 2, and the 2 is usually 1 male, 1 female, and they're about to fall in love.
I did really enjoy Ali Condi's the final book in the Matched series. That one added a third point of view, and I actually liked it with 3 POVs better than I liked any of the other books with just the 2.
There's 3 in that one?
Yeah, she adds the best friend boy's POV as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I cared about his point of view more than anyone else's.
Oh god, that series. Anyways,
So I have seen up to 3 published. If you want to do more than that, it needs to be very good, and you probably need to have a very good reason why you
go into it very deliberately.
Yeah. I think it's like a lot of things where it's like you can do it well, but it's hard. It's hard to do well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
but not impossible.
Yeah, I've read a lot of all like the multiple perspectives, usually third person, and I have read some where it's dual or triple POV, and one of them's in first person and the other one's in third person, and I hate it.
Yeah, I hate that too.
It's like a personal thing. Maybe other people
hate
don't,
it.
but like,
No.
thank you. I just,
No.
it's awful.
Yeah.
It's so weird to like keep. It's very jarring. So
The last
keep one or the other.
The last one I read was, oh god, it was like a steampunk one that came out like a million years ago, and it was same thing. It was first person, and then it switched to third person, and it was so abrupt to me that I was like, wait, like I don't think I finished it. I was like mad about it. I was mad about it.
All right. Reminder that coming up on December 1st is our book club. Or not December 1st. Is it December 1st? Yeah, it's the first Sunday in December. Our book club, and it's 3 Dark Crowns. So it's a bigger book. So get a head start on it if you want to join us.
Oh god.
Yes, I just
want to talk about it.
So
I need to refresh myself on it. I read it a while ago.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be super refreshed because I just got it. So
Okay, good.
And, as far as write-ins go, we will be over on the Nano channel again on Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so 12 p.m. Eastern. I will drop a link to that in the comments after this. I don't think I have a link to it in the description right now. So I'll drop one in after, so you can probably just refresh the page like 10 minutes after we go off air, and it'll be there. We'll also be back here with a very special live chat on Sunday. Normally we do our write-ins starting at 7:30 Eastern time during Nano, but this Sunday we are doing a 4-hour-long write-in, teaming up with the website forthewords.com. That's the number 4 and then thewords.com. So you don't have to be on For the Words. You don't have to be a writer on For the Words. Our prompts will just be kind of tied to For the Words for that day, but we will be writing 4 hours. Hopefully it'll be a great opportunity for people to get caught up if you're behind, to get ahead if you are feeling comfortable where you are in Nano, just generally being productive and having fun and writing all day, because why not? And so I'll drop a link to where that's going to be as well, but that'll be on this channel. So hopefully we will virtually see you all there. Did I forget anything?
I think that's it. Yeah, we'll have regular videos every Tuesday and Thursday like we always do. Thanks for hanging. Wow, okay. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you got a lot of writing done. It really seems like you did. Tune in next Sunday for our 4-hour-long chat. It's going to be wild. It'll be really fun. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.